Hey everybody, this is Kai Glover with High School Movie Reviews, and today I'm talking about The Shape of Water. So have you ever just looked at an iguana and kind of just licked your lips at it, kind of like that, or bitten your lip towards it, you know? Yep, me neither, because I'm a normal person, but you know what? Surprisingly, it makes for a better love story than any other love story I've ever seen. So basically, The Shape of Water, what it's about is it has that kind of Guillermo del Toro feel to it, where it's not really steampunk, more like kind of a noir feel. Takes place in the 50s, I assume, and is a monster movie. And I think that's the thing that I walked out of this the most, even though it is a love story, like for the most part, you could tell that he probably went back, watched a whole lot, a whole bunch of old school monster films like The Invisible Man or Frankenstein, and really just got that feel for that old school kind of black and white horror genre, and just kind of gave his own spin to it. Now, if there is one huge problem with this movie, it's the fact that if it wasn't for this movie, we would have probably gotten a good Pacific Rim 2 sequel, but can't win them all, so that's our problem. So one thing that really stood out to me about this is, so it has Sally Hawkins in it. It has Richard Jenkins, or yeah, I think that's his name. It was the dad from Step Brothers, and it's got Michael Shannon, and it does have Octavia Spencer in it, and a lot of people have just notified her for being an amazing actress. But I thought she was good in this movie. She didn't really stand out like the other characters in this. So with Sally Hawkins in this movie, she's deaf, and because of that, she's not deaf, she's mute. And because of that, she doesn't talk, she uses sign language. And that really, you don't totally notice it at first, but after a while, you're kind of like, holy smokes, she's showing so much emotion without actually showing any words, that I don't think she ended up getting an Oscar for Best Actress, but she definitely should have, because it is truly amazing. Just if you end up not using any words at all, but are still able to show the insane amount of emotions that you feel during this, it really just shows your acting skills. Same with The Fish Person. Now, I when I first saw the trailer for this, I thought this was a prequel to Hellboy, but apparently not. It is played by the same actor, and he does, the fish guy does have the same feel as Abraham in Hellboy, but he is a different creature. He's really cool. He every time you see him on the screen, he's just he looks like a real being. He's got all the flaps. You would think that he has a real anatomy going on in him. And that is one of the crazy things going on in this movie, is between him and Sally Hawkins, you really sense that they love each other. And even though a lot of people are freaked out about that because it's just non-traditional and maybe it's promoting bestiality, I don't know. It is a better love story than most other love stories that I've seen. And to be honest, good love stories are a dime a dozen. They only come around every so often. So having a movie like this that feels so original is just really refreshing. My favorite character in this movie is Richard Jenkins' character, and I don't want to go into too much about his character, but he is a true tragic person in this movie, and there are just some moments where he feels like an outcast. His job isn't going too well, and you truly just feel sorry for this dude. And again, I don't want to go into too much about his character. I would want you guys to see this first and experience it for yourself. But in my opinion, his acting was amazing. Again, I don't think he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor or anything, but I think he totally should have. He's one of the most memorable characters I've seen in a long time in a movie, and I love that. One of the gigantic themes that I've noticed in this movie actually is the idea of just being an outcast and finding your place in this world. And you definitely see that with Richard Jenkins and Sally Hawkins' character, where because they both have disabilities, they just can't interact normally with the outside world. It is just them finding a purpose and them finding happiness with that. Now, Michael Shannon was another standout character in this movie. He plays the villain, who's kind of this government agent. He's supposed to study He's supposed to study the sea creature, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he was super menacing in it. Just one of those that he will crush down everybody in his way. Just kind of more with dialogue than anything. He shows his power through dialogue. Every time he's on screen, he seems just intimidating as hell, and I love that. Another thing is, there's something so great about a character that just uses metaphors all the time, and he'll tell like biblical stories and stuff like that. And the entire time, like while he's talking about it, you just kind of slowly realize his intention behind the story, and you're like, oh crap, this dude's evil. And I love that about this. Definitely also one of the best, most memorable villains that I've seen in a long time in a movie. So, and on top of all of it, it is directed by Guillermo del Toro, who is amazing with cinematography. There are just scenes in this movie that is just plainly beautiful. Like, I can't even describe it. It's just it's got that noir kind of rainy feel. I've noticed that with Guillermo del Toro movies a lot, is they're very gloomy. And if you've seen my review on Pacific Rim Uprising, it really frustrated me because I just want that same gloomy feel that Guillermo del Toro brings, and that movie just didn't bring it. But in this movie, it is gorgeous. As strangely enough as it is, it kind of reminded me as like some of the Call of Duty Zombies maps, how they have that gloomy kind of scary feel, but yet at the same time it had its charm to it. The world seemed like something you would want to actually experience. So in the end, this is more of a movie that you would want to take your film professor, your art teacher. I saw it with my aunt and uncle, and they just really kind of hated it. And if someone ends up hating it, I can totally understand it. It's a weird movie. It's not for everybody. But for me, I absolutely loved it. And so take your film professor, take your art professor, just more of your artsy friends. And because of that, I loved this movie. It is one of the best movies I've seen this year. Was it worth not getting a good Pacific Rim sequel? No, that's pretty rough, but it was truly just a great experience. So I'm Kai, and thank you guys so much for watching my channel, and have a great day.